Hi guys, thank you for being back in the section Racks. Today we talk about creating a fan motor rack.
Let's try to create a fan rack as you see on this pictures. The size of the tubes is 125 mm, the angles of the outer tubes are 15 degrees. So, let's click on Racks, Create Rack to see where and how we should enter the information about this fan rack. Again we choose mortar rack as type for our rack. Now we have two possibilities to create the rack. The first one is to define it as one row, the second possibility is to define it as 3 rows. Let's start with the definition where we specify one row. Because the rack is not pre-wired and it is not of type single shot, we can go on and enter a part number and specify the catalog. Let's define the row. We have 3 tubes in the whole rack, so choose the value 3 in the number of tubes field. Because the tubes have a fixed size, we uncheck the Fit Any Size checkbox and enter the value of 125 mm in the size field. We treat the rack as one row, so there is no row that is tilt. We leave the field row tilt blank and use the next field tube fan angles to specify that the outer tubes are angled. But how to do that? Please look at the bottom of this dialog. Finale often give us some hints here. Also this time we get the information we need, because we get a hint to specify the 3 different angles with a comma between the values. So we enter our 3 angles in this way in the field tube fan angles, -15, 0 for straight up, 15. Please make sure that you place a comma between the angles. The definition is now completed, so let's define another fan rack in a different way now. We are able to change the definition of rack. Just make a right click to open the context menu and choose Edit this effect simulation or rack. You see, all the settings we just made are presented again and we would be able to change them. But just let us create an additional rack with another size so I can show you the difference between the two methods to define a fan rack. So press the cancel button and call Create Racks from the Racks menu again. This time we create the same rack, but we specify 3 rows instead of 1. To compare both methods of creating a rack, I specify the size as 150 mm here, so let's make the following settings. Number of rows 3. Part number RAM 150F 15015. Row 1. Number of tubes, 1. Fits to size, 150 mm. Row tilt, -15 degrees. Row 2. Number of tubes, 1. Fits to size, 150 mm. Row tilt, 0 degrees. Row 3. Number of tubes, 1. Fits to size, 150 mm. Row tilt, 15 degrees. Click Enter. Both methods will work fine. The only difference between the rack is that Finale is not able to skip or angle the last track, because it is different rows with different tilt angles. In our first version we only had one row without a tilt angle. So it is up to you which way you prefer.